Sam, can you hear me? You're getting part of my poster, so it's part of my bang in your background. No,
No, I hope not. I'll switch to this side.
no I'm asking you. You're not on there. Margo, I see you back. Can you hear me?
And the persons to do that, yeah, a few are here. I mean, I see people like Wackers, Ashton Lugie. I see people like in terms of forestry and land management, people like Dr. David Lloyd in terms of agronomy and soils and soil management. People like Dr. Al Mario, you know. I see people like Whitney Louis, people like Deleuze Warrington, and so on, as farmers of note who have spent a lifetime learning how to manage Dominica's natural systems of soil and water and climate and whatnot, you know, and who should be our iconic instructors and guide and be on board the boards of the college and so forth, that would guide the programs in science and biology and land use, you know, so that in fact the students coming out of there, they don't just have knowledge of the technical, you know, areas of their field, but they understand how to manage those, how to blend those with people who are in water management, for example, people who are in waste management, for example. So they are having an integrated approach to their education that makes them much more valuable, much more useful to the country as a whole. So education, definitely. In education, who are some of the people? Ron Green, yeah. I mean, just to name a sampling or two, yourself, Billy, Pastor Navier, many of the other partners in the grouping, Cameron, I'm so impressed, that he displays such a knowledge, an intimate knowledge of how to in many areas, and so on and so on. Mr. Wilson, Brother Wilson. So, and then of course overseas, my colleague of mine going back all the way to 1970, 72, is Dr. Alan Williams, Guyanese, married to Dominican, Henkel Christian's daughter. He's my go-to man for economic analysis and assessment of any project or program and policy and so on. And we still work together. After all these years, we work together. There's several others. There's a guy called Richardson Franklin, Grenadian, who's on the top of his field in terms of design and commissioning right through of renewable energy systems in wind and in solar. And there's several in Guadeloupe that I used to know, but I can't remember their names now. I'm just calling the names of those that I'm in fairly constant contact with. And all of them, they don't ascribe or subscribe. To find that we have the expertise in a number of key and critical areas. I think of Frederick Barron, who's now in the US, but he's a tremendous financial and fiscal analyst, from a business standpoint and so on. So people like that are available and can be gradually brought back home from their diaspora assignments and gradually make a difference. So from that standpoint, as well as the standpoint.
Welcome to the Garaway Hotel to celebrate Happy Mate's 77th birthday party, which was last week. But since it's a surprise, we're doing it today. That's right, Wednesday. When he walks every Wednesday for the past, this including about 48 walk. But we did a talk, and we're going to do a party. We're talking to you. How about that, Shafi? All right. Thank you so much, TDN, for taking this live for us. I'm going to put Athy in front of the screen so that the show can go on. Thank you so much. I believe Pastor Billy is going to lead us in prayer. Is he there, Pastor Billy? Are you there? The same electrician you And there he is. Can you hear me, Anthony? Anthony?
I hear you loud and clear. I hear you loud and clear. Mr. Atherton Mate, good morning. Happy birthday to you.
Anyway, let me not say anything.
Yeah, I just need you to just relax and absorb it. Okay?
No, you
and enjoy it.
Okay, I will close my eyes and go to war with you. What subterfuge, what covert action? CIA cannot teach you on anything. Mossad cannot teach you on anything. Right? All of you were talking to me and fully admitted. Yes, well. My goodness.
Tony, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, yes.
I'm a loss.
Okay.
Hi, Beverly. Hi. You know, Bev is there as well, Afi. Bev, Eloise, Billy, myself, Margot, and there's more. So just sit back and relax.
I can't get it very clearly.
That's the thing. If we plug it in, there's a hum.
Okay.
Yeah, but let me see if just when you're talking.
No, but we're hearing Afi loud and clear, Margot. He's not hearing us?
Yeah, you won't hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Guys, can we
I
give
can-
it up for a minute?
I can hear Afi now. Good. Afi, you're not hearing us? Are you hearing me? It seems like Afi's not hearing us.
I'm hearing you now.
You hearing me? Okay,
hearing
all right,
you
great.
now.
All right, so I was saying right there, the day has just started, so sit back, relax, absorb it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If you're smiling now, by the end of the event, you'll be smiling even more.
You mean
Yeah.
you'll have more plans?
It is just starting, Afi.
Just started.
Yeah, man. I haven't even had breakfast.
Well, we catered for that too.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wherever.
So Margot, you can give Afi a snack to keep his blood sugar up.
Yeah?
I told Margot she can give you a little snack to keep your blood sugar up.
That's right. That's right.
No, I don't have that problem. My goodness.
I'm gonna get you.
All right.
Okay,
So,
definitely.
but what's the time? It's almost 10 past, Margot. So let's see if maybe we can start. We do the birthday. We have here a really happy birthday, a happy 77th year. We all love you, so we had to make it special.
Oh my goodness.
On the panel, we have already on the panel. We have Alvin Thomas is on. Beverly Sinclair is on. Eloise Thomas is on. Billy Sanderson, myself, and there are others. There are others. You will discover. You like to explore and discover. So you'll discover as we go along.
Conspiracy.
Oh no. All right. With Margot. Are we ready to start?
Yes, Anthony.
Are we ready to begin?
Excuse me?
Are we ready to start?
That's right. Be ready.
So we could all sing happy birthday to Afi. That's where we start with the birthday celebration.
All right.
So let's start it local. Let the people in the room come together and sing happy birthday.
All right, guys, we're gonna sing happy birthday. Let's rally. Come closer, come closer. Get in the screen. Let everybody see all your beautiful faces. Come on. All right. Do you know what to do?
All right,
Happy birthday?
I'm not much of a singer, but I will start. Happy birthday.
All right, guys, let's
to
go.
you. Let's go.
Focus now, focus now. We on live video, guys. Live on TVN, live on TVN, guys. Let's go. Come, George. George, come and sing happy birthday.
When the Stillborn has a birthday song that they know, they can just play. All right, Margot, start singing. Hi,
All
Jackie.
right. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Afi. Happy birthday to you. Hooray!
For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow. It's not time for Afi to speak as yet. Take the mic from Afi.
That's right.
It's not time for Afi to speak as yet. So to start things off, we're going to go to Pastor Billy before we get too far along. And we ask him to do the incantation and to say a prayer of thankfulness and blessings and all of that.
Well, good day, everyone. Good day, Mr. Martin. It's a wonderful day. It's a beautiful day. Sorry to have to surprise you so much, but that's the beautiful thing about being able to work with people who can still make you very happy. All right, and so we thank you for the months and the years and all the times and all that you have been able to do with us and for us. All right. And so we just wanted to take this special time to just wish you a very happy birthday and hope that you're going to have many more to come. Of course, you have put a lot of your life, your long life, of course, on the line for us as the younger generation, what you've done for Dominica. And so this is just a very small way by which we want to say thank you and wish you many more years as you wait to see the unfolding of a new Dominica as you've been doing for the men. So thank you very much. After you sit back, relax, and enjoy it, we're just going to pray. Father, thank you for this day that you have made that we can rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for Mr. Martin, and thank you for the life that you've given him. Beautiful 77. And I just realized in the middle of my prayer that this is double seven. 7, as far as the scripture is concerned, is God's divine number of completion. So today, literally, you are experiencing, you're celebrating a double number of double sevens, which is very, very significant. That's a very significant number, biblically, 7. So we thank God for this life and we thank God for this number, and we pray that this is going to mark something very significant, not just for you and your family, but for our nation and for every one of us who have been privileged to be part of your life and to be able to work with you in this season. So we just bless this gathering today, Father. We pray your blessings upon it, and everything that will be done today will be for your glory and for your honor, and really seek to celebrate your servant whom you have so endowed with the passion and a heart for people and for the nation like he does. So bless him tremendously. Then we pray that you'll give him many, many more years to come so that he can see the fruits of his labor being made manifested in our lives and in our nation. So be with us and guide everything that will go on. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. And everybody say amen and amen.
So much, Pastor Billy. You know, I know Afi his spirituality is very important to him, and so it was so important to really start the activity in the way that I know if he was planning it, he will want it to start. You know, we have a really awesome lineup of activities planned for today. First, we've wished Afi a happy birthday, because, as Billy said, it's his year of double completion or complete completion, 7-7. So
Yep.
we came together, a group of us came together. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much for joining us. Those of you who are viewing or listening to us on TDN TV or TDN Radio or on Facebook, I thank you. There are a number of people who contributed to making this possible. You know, TDN Media Network, which is TDN Radio, TDN TV, and the Dominican online newspaper, we have often spoke about doing an award or recognition for someone who is deserving. And so we decided this year, TDN Media is celebrating 13 years of existence. Our 13th anniversary is we celebrated it in December. And then also, I have been associated with WAVE, and so Afi is active in WAVE as well. And so we decided that we were going to do something special to honor Afi and to celebrate him as a person. And what better time to do it than at his birthday? And so we are here today to do two things. We are here today to celebrate with Afi, but we're here also to honor him as the Man of the Year for 2022 for his continued contribution to everything important to Dominica, everything crucial, everything essential to Dominica. We have to make sure that we can pause and say thank you to folks who are making a difference in our lives and those who are making a difference in the lives of the future of our children. Speaking about children, when I first heard of Afi Martin, I was a child. I was born in 1967, so in the early 1970s, I was a child. But Afi had an outsized presence in my village in Castle Bruce on the east coast of Dominica. Afi came to Castle Bruce, and I didn't understand all of the dynamics at the time, but I understood that Afi was able to assist, or maybe he was the chief conspirator, I don't know. At the time, I did not know. But he came to Castle Bruce to work on the Castle Bruce estate. So let me set this in for you. During that time, we, the people of the village of Castle Bruce, we had our farms, our gardens in the mountains, far away, in McClacken, in Belfie, in Fraser, far away, because the flat arable lands were taken up by the estates, the colonial estates, and it was managed by a company called CDC. CDC morphed from Colonial Development Corporation, and after independence, they became Commonwealth Development Corporation. So Afi came to the estate as a young manager, and events transpired where Afi led the Castle Bruce farmers to take over the estate. And that changed the fortunes for Castle Bruce and for my family and for me. That, we could afford to have some of us go to Roseau to go to high school. We could have economic development in the country. So this is very personal to me, because this man that we're honoring today had a direct personal impact on me and my family and the whole Eastern District, because following Castle Bruce, there was a cooperative established in Riviere Syriac called Yards, and we had other cooperative movements around Dominica forming from that strong cooperative movement. And so Afi continues to, Billy, because you're from Castle Bruce as well, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. And Afi continues today. On a Wednesday, there is a protest walk that brings people together, and that's almost the only voice of protest that we see in Dominica right now, that tries to minimize the negative impact on the environment by some of the policies of the government. We know that Afi may have saved Dominica when he almost single-handedly opposed the exploration for copper mining, if you guys remember that. And if you look at the television right now and you see what copper mining looks like, you will know how much indebted we are to Afi. So I'm not going to make this speech so much longer, but I'm just setting the stage why we at TDN Media, in collaboration with WAVE, decided that we want to honor Afaton Afi Martin as Man of the Year for Dominica in 2022. And so that's my opening remarks. Margot, you guys are live in Roseau, so you can also give a few remarks as well, and then we can launch into some of the activities that we have planned. But again, everyone, welcome to this auspicious occasion. We are honoring indeed a great man. We know he's very humble and he's probably fully embarrassed right now, but he deserves all of the accolades and flowers that we intend to bestow on him today. So Margot, if take it away and give your, or whoever locally was going to give the opening remarks, go ahead. Margot, can you hear me? Yeah, Jackie, I see you. So I wanted somebody on the ground to just give a few opening remarks before we launch into it. Are they talking? Ask Baby she hear audio now, please. And maybe tell Sam, maybe tell her to disconnect and reconnect. She said she's getting?
She said okay.
Who said okay?
She said okay when you told her.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
That's all you have to do. Unplug
Just
that.
ask her if she's already. If she's getting audio enough that she can disconnect and reconnect.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hi. Okay, well, welcome to everybody here. I'm just holding on for Margot. So my little tribute for Andy is an amazing, articulate advocate for Dominica. He is a treasure beyond measure that has been gifted to this island, who has fought over the decades for this beautiful country, which is a man filled with humility. He can speak to presidents, prime ministers, and he can speak to the most humblest person on the road, and he will have the same respect for all. I is for his indomitable spirit, who perseveres in spite of in spite of his challenges. Right now he's faced with blindness, but he's more powerful than ever. And he is for this exquisite, I hope Faye doesn't get too jealous, exquisite, exotic, enchanting man. Thank you very, very much, Andy. You are really a gift to God.
Thank you very much for that, Jackie. And we're going to roll right along. One of the persons who wanted to do a tribute was Dr. Irvin Pascal, IP. And so IP said instead of saying words, he recommended that we play the song A Humble African by Culture. So Sam, if you can play that song right now.
Humble African. I'm on this land, I trouble no one. My desire is to make no problem with no one. None interference, none political. No matter what you do, I see I'm blind and ear and deaf. I'm an humble African. Passing through Babylon, I'm African. Some said I'm a Rasta man, I'm an humble African. These little hands and simple fingers that I have, they were not made to pinch nor tear, you hear, but to move in deeds of kindness, you see, and to fall in thoughts of prayer to help my brother pray for the betterment of his life, yeah. Oh yeah. It's better to have a friend than to need one. It's better to find a friend than to be in need. Lift up your brother, don't you put him down. One and wash the other. Boom, go and truck it home. I'm an humble African. I was born to love my brother. I'm an humble African. United I must be. I'm an humble African. No matter what they say, I'm an humble African. My forefather came here from the days of slave. I work until my skin starts to strip, and to every time I speak for my justice, there's someone always to name me disagreeable still. I pray the day will come when we all have peace and unity. No more chasing one another without humanity. I pray the day will come that we all share what we have and show the people of the love that we have to give. Let them know I'm an humble African. Nothing but unity inside, I'm an humble African. Just stand for us all, a humble African. Let me beat my drum in a Babylon and a humble African. Yeah, you know who I am, a humble African. Stand up in a Babylon, I'm an humble African.
It's a very fitting song, especially after the tribute that Jackie just gave and described Afi as this gentleman who he treats everybody the same, from the person who is like me and you and common people to folks who have some kind of social or political power wherever they reside. Afi treats everybody with dignity and respect. So we thank IP, Dr. Irvin Pascal, for his contribution to this event today. Folks, if you're joining us after we started, what we're doing today is we are celebrating Atherton Martin Afi, as we affectionately know him, on the occasion of his 77th birthday and his recognition by WAVE and TDN Media Network as the Dominican Person of the Year. Right now, I would like to ask anybody who's in the room who said that they would stand up to give a tribute in person. Take the microphone and come close to Afi so you can talk to him directly and give your tribute. I just put an open slot there for someone, maybe one of the folks who walk with him every Wednesday, if anybody would like to come on and say a few words. After that person, we'll have Neville Wade give his tribute.
Oh? Yeah, you. Okay, hi. Okay, right, I'm just going to pass the mic here to Vivi. She's one of the original walkers. So who better than Vivi to represent the walkers and give her tribute to Afi. Hey, Vivi. Okay.
I went down on my, how they say, I went down on my knees. Royalty, no. We honor our people, Afi. Afi, you cannot say no because I'm not bowing. I'm just honoring you.
Can somebody rotate the computer a little bit so we
I'm
can
just
see her?
honoring you, Afi. You're humble Dominican. You know, I am proud to be part of the workers group. I mean, I'm proud to be close to you also as friend and family and past colleague because we work together. I was just saying I've known Afi since the whales and dolphins conservation and preservation. So Afi always is conserving and preserving something. You know, now he's preserving Dominica and showing us, motivating us, encouraging us, you know, guiding us as a true humble servant to the country. So Afi, we thank you. We thank you. We wish you more health, more life, more love, more peace, more progress, you know, more blessings, more everything good, you know, because you're a good man, a God-fearing man, you know. Even though you're not my bloodline, I see you as an uncle, you know, Uncle Afi. You know, I'm so proud of you, of everything. Okay, I stand up, no more bowing, so I'm on your shoulder now. Afi, thank you for being you, for being real, for keeping it real and seeing what Dominica need more people like you to stand up for what is right. You know, Afi, God bless you 1,000,000 times, and may He bless you with His richest blessings, favor, and love. You know, that's what I have for you today. That's a tribute from all of us, the workers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Greetings from Australia. Man in the building. Now I'm a natural born leader. I doesn't follow. But the only person I can follow right now, I can say, with no feeling of confidence, is Mr. Afi Martin. You check it? Because I see a wise man with the good eye. They say, you know, his eyesight go and things like that, but it look like it's no way of sight. So it's no way following. As the only man I decided to follow right now. Respect
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Margot.
Well,
right
you
now,
already know. That's the first person I speak to when I wake up and throughout the day. Sometimes the last person I speak to at night. Afi, you know how much I love you. Happy birthday, man. I'm keeping it short and sweet.
That's okay. I'll do it. All right. Thank you for that, Margot. Margot, can you give the mic to Mr. Neville Wade, please? Give it to Mr. Neville Wade, please, Margot.
There's two members in the house tonight. Wow.
Hey, brother Afi, this is Neville Graham here. You have Neville Wade to your left. Afternoon, folks. You know, the day Afi came into my life some 50 years ago, 50 plus years ago, was a very, very momentous occasion. You know, Afi has contributed to my personal development in a very, very powerful way. It was because of Afi and a good brother called Alan Williams that I was able to get a university education. And Afi, during the years in our discussions and so, Afi has always mentored me and encouraged me. And I gleaned a lot from what Afi had to say. You know, Afi, in terms of his encouragement, would say to me, never, there are certain things that are important. And I call them ethical obligations. Things like humility and honesty. You know, and the list goes on. You know, and Afi always say to me, never, people are not so impressed with what you know. They're more concerned about what you do and how you care. And these things have stayed with me throughout my entire education and my entire life. So having said that, I just want to thank you for the contribution you've made in my life that's kept me over the years and continues to keep me, and have a lot to be thankful for. May God bless you.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Neville Graham. Next on the mic, Mr. Neville Wee. Thank you for coming, sir. You look so nice today. Captain!
Okay. Welcome to everybody. I'm not a walker. I've never walked.
You walk every morning. It's all right.
Oh, somebody knows me better. I walk in the morning. A few mornings past no. I see everybody making short and sweet, but I can't make it short and sweet because the things I do with Afi cannot be done again. There are no people who can make those things happen again. I know Afi since school time, 1960 maybe, Black Power and so on. When we left school, he went to tertiary education, I went to Portsmouth by the Bay. But I'm a little surprised that people like Ron Green isn't here at this time. Because for me, Ron Green is the bridge. You cannot get to Pottersville without cross a bridge. And Ron Green was the bridge, because Ron Green, when I built a little boat, 30 feet long, and put some Land Rover engines, crazy, but young, Ron Green came with me very often. I was wondering whether he was crazy also. And through Ron Green, I got to know Afi more closely so that we could do something. Around 1980, we began thinking what we could do for the farmers. And we came up with an idea of farm to market. That the farmers had their fruits, but it was difficult to get them to the market. We thought and thought and thought, but while we were thinking, I was still working on the sea and by the bay until we had a meeting. I think Ron was present at that meeting, and somebody else. Neville became a student of that program.
That's good.
Yeah. And after we decided we should buy a boat. We discussed again, but nobody didn't know how to buy a boat. I had a boat, but I had taken it from the beach. And, another crazy idea. And time came to shorten it up a little bit when they said I should go to Europe and look for the boat. But we had no money. So we thought and thought again, and we found somebody who would fund the project. But then you need somebody with some brain, some sense to go and talk to smart people about money. Afi said, Neville, you can do it. I said, well, boy, I'll try, but and he sent me. But there's a break, something I don't remember, because I remember Afi and I had my sons home in England. But I don't know after that what happened. Anyway, I went to The Hague in Holland, 1985, around April, and discussed with the people for a few days. I seem to have been the person who had known about moving a ship or shipping around here, and they decided to give us some money. So they were maybe a little more crazy than us. So another thing I don't remember is how was the money given? But I went to Denmark and looked around Denmark. We got some people in Denmark who knew about boats. Looked around Denmark, didn't find a boat I thought was suitable for the job. So I said I'll go further on. I went to Germany, I went to Norway, Sweden, and somebody said you should go to Tromsø in Norway. Tromsø is at the head of Norway. It's just around the corner to Moscow. If you look at your chat when you go on your map. Tromsø, Tromso, diphthong E. Just around the corner, you with Russia right there. I say, okay, yeah, we went there, and there was a company, a lot of boats, reefer ships. That would be good for our transportation of our produce in Dominica. I tried out all the boats and chose one. And then I said, Afi, you have to come up now because I just chose a boat there. Where, yes, in Norway, Tromsø in Norway, around that time the sun didn't set and we were not accustomed to that. So we would work the whole night. And 1 hour there would be a little darkness, but sunlight again. Afi arrived. And maybe he didn't know too much about boat, but he liked the boat too. The people treated us very well. I said, Afi, but I can't do it alone, and maybe you can't do it with me. We have to get more boys. And we got a contingent from Dominica. Carlton Powell, Donald Avril, the rail navigator, deceased now, Cyril Hyacinth is in Portsmouth, and some maybe I can't remember now. And we were going to take this boat to Dominica, 6,000 and something miles. We were around 130, 150 miles further north of the Arctic Circle. And so, on my discussion with other people, or had I done that before maybe, but not from Norway, we would take the boat to Denmark to refit, to furbish, put food, and try to calculate enough fuel for the journey. And Afi was on board from, after we worked in Norway, Afi was on board. He's a good worker, he likes the cold too. And he became a seaman. It took us 5 days inside the Norwegian fjords to get to the Baltic Sea. At the Baltic, everybody may have gotten tired, and I did the rest to Copenhagen, Denmark. I'm not quite sure whether Afi left in Denmark. But from Copenhagen, the funds were beginning to get low. And we had to reach Dominica. We couldn't stop in the middle of the ocean. So I told the boys, we're going to try to get some cargo somewhere. I called my friends in England and so on. Afi just agreed that his craziness will continue. So we got the boat furbished maybe in 2 weeks and had to pass through Germany. I didn't speak German at the time, so I got the same captain who was on the boat, because you learned about the boat by being on it for a day or two. Just followed everything that was being done. We passed in Germany, we did some little business in Germany, came through the Kiel Canal and went to Chatham in Kent in England. That is where we got some cargo for Dominica. Some fixtures for houses. I think we had a few Land Rover Jeeps on board. And we called Avril, the rail navigator, the champion of the seas, deceased. And we left England to Dominica. It should have taken about 30 days of sea and sky. But we stopped in one of the Azores, Palma Island. By that time, Afi might have been already in Dominica, because maybe he was afraid of the 30-something days. And yeah, we came with that boat. And arriving here, and when we delivered the cargo, we had a little money to put fuel and food. And I had to teach the sailors how to handle the boat and how to navigate. And we started in Trinidad, with Trinidad. Neville may have joined at the time. I didn't hear. 1 minute. 1 minute, okay. We taught the boys, and the farm to market came alive. And the farm to market worked Dominica to Trinidad and Dominica to the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, including St. Croix. So we did some real work for the farmers at the time, and it needs to be redone. We don't know how. And I'm just glad to be here with you again, my friend, my brother. And apart from the difficulty you have in moving around, but just thank God that as you're telling 80 good morning, when we both tell 80 good morning. Yeah, so Just be strong and be healthy. What we did first, we had left out God. Maybe that's why it didn't work. But now we have more God on our side. Better days. Maybe I should stop.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Great gentleman.
Thank you.
Thank
You so much, everyone. Thank you, Neville, and those who gave, Neville and Maggie and Vivi, I think you say her name was. Thank you so much for those your personal relationship with Afi, and that is what we get every time and time again. Anybody that you mention the name Afi to, everybody has a personal story, and as I said, people might remember you for what you have or smart or whatever, but they definitely remember how you make them feel. And so there's a lot of folks in the world who Afi has touched in such a special way. And they're very excited to be part of the ceremony today. And some of them who could not be in person, they submitted a recording of their tribute. And we're going to go to the first one of such a recording. I will let them say who they are. Sam, can you play the first recorded clip?
Kathy, before it was commonplace to hear people talking about the environment and climate change, you were talking about climate change and the environment.
Athy, you're Man of the Year to us every year. We love all your contributions to Dominica and the world. We're so proud of you and we thank you.
We want to thank you also for looking after people who are thought to be the everyman and the everywoman. It's been amazing to see how you've shared resources, shared ideas. I've seen you in the trenches negotiating, and I've also seen you on those heights, representing us as only you've been able to do.
Auntie Faye, we also want to acknowledge your contributions to the great man and all your love and support over the years. We miss you. Can't wait to see you again.
Absolutely, Faye. I think your dynamism, your ability to really bring people together, not to mention your skills, your culinary skills, which we still sing your praises of. But it is an issue of love, and that's what you've represented. So thank you, too.
Many thanks. Best wishes for the season. Much love.
Much love.
All right. This was tremendous. Afi, I hope you recognize who these were. This was Dr. Natalia Kanem. I hope I'm saying her name correct. Dr. Natalia Kanem and Mandela Gregoire. They wanted to be part of the occasion today, and so they recorded their tribute. So I hope, as I told you, we're just starting. Next up, we're going to go and give a live virtual tribute from someone I know who is very dear and very special to Afi. So I will call Asha to give you a tribute. Are you muted?
No, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay. Hi, Dad. Hi to everybody. I was contacted by Ella and asked, she told me about the idea and I found it was great. I found it was wonderful. Because I do believe that you need, even though you don't do it for the likes, as people say nowadays, it is always good to feel that your efforts are being acknowledged and appreciated. And I felt that very few more than you deserved such a wonderful tribute at this time. I want to say that being your daughter hasn't always been the easiest of things. Because even before, oftentimes, due to the power of genetics, even before I would give my name, the question would be, your mate, who's your father? Afi? That sort of thing. But I never felt burdened by it because 99.9% of the time, it always came with such a positive story, a positive interaction that that person had with you. And they always seem so eager to share and to extend. If they couldn't extend that gratitude to you, they would extend it to me. And I know for a fact that I have benefited, and I want to tell you thank you for that. I have learned a lot of things from being in your presence, both physically at times and not always day to day. But I think you've taught me a lot. And some of the most important lessons that I have learned through talking to you and also observing you is that it's always the right time to do the right thing. It's always the right time to do the right thing. And it's a lesson that I take to heart, and it's a way that I try to live my life. Even though things may be quote unquote inconvenient, it's always the right time to do the right thing. Something else that I've also learned, it's that you must always treat people with respect. It matters not what their status, quote unquote, may be. Every man deserves respect. And that's something that I have also tried to do in my day-to-day life. And apart from that, what I want to say, I mean, I guess kids don't tell that to their parents often enough. Apart from the fact that I love you, Dad, which I do tell you, is that I'm proud of you. I am very proud of you, Daddy. I am proud to be your daughter. And I'm proud of the father that you are, that you have been to me. And I'm proud of the man that you are, the man that you were, the man that you are, and the man that you continue to be. And I pray for you daily and ask for continued guidance for you, and that you do know that you are loved and appreciated. So I wanted to take the opportunity to say that to you in front of all. And I hope that you have a wonderful day, and that this accolade is warmly received, because it is greatly deserved. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Asha Martin. Thank you so much. And of course, we know that the apple is not far from the tree. Very eloquent. And what stood out to me most is that she learned from her dad that it's always the right time to do the right thing. It's always the right time to do the right thing. And so, Asha, thank you so much for participating, for agreeing to participate, and giving your blessing for us to do this for your dad, because of course we came to you and Faye and Adrian as the first people when we wanted to do this, to say that this is what we want to do, and you guys think it's a good idea. So thank you to Asha, to Faye, to Adrian for giving your blessing to begin with. That was very important to us, and for the support as we planned it. We have another virtual clip, so Sam, can you play the next one?
I've been asked to say a few words on behalf of my family, myself, the Christian family, for our dear friend and brother, Atherton Mate, otherwise known as Athi. The story of Athi in my family goes way back before my birth. Athi's father was a sergeant in C Company, Windward Islands Battalion, British Army, between 1943 and 1947. He was a sergeant in my father's company. a very stern man, a very disciplined man, a very dutiful man. And so I believe Athi picked up a lot of his father's attributes. He picked up from his father the value engineering that has guided him through his life. Life is very short. But let's be very clear about this. Life is long enough for us all to make major progress and improvements in our lives. And a life committed to working on ourselves and creating positive changes in our society is not always easy. Athi has committed his entire life to making a positive change in our society. I first took note of Athi and his contributions in the early 1970s when I started at a grammar school. He led a protest at the National Day Parade with farmers from Castle Bruce who he had returned from Cornell University to manage on the Geese estate. And he felt, as a born Dominican, that Geese was exploiting the workers, and there was also financial mismanagement of the estate. In fact, not only were the workers being exploited, but money was being skimmed off the top. And Athi, who had educated himself through assiduous effort at Cornell University in agronomy, was wise enough to determine the facts for what they were, and he organized a protest and ultimately a farmers' cooperative at Castle Bruce. So Atherton Martin allowed for the people in Castle Bruce to become masters of their destiny by allowing them to access formerly, let's say, encumbered land owned by the estate that they now could put to good use to provide for themselves and their families. And he transformed that village and its environs by allowing for the growth of a middle class of black farmers, of black landholders, of people of Kalinago and African descent who now were not just serfs on an estate working for a foreign multinational corporation, but who were working in ways that could benefit themselves, allow them better nutrition, better housing, and allow them to send their children to school. Thank you, Afi, for doing that, and for also organizing the Dominica Farmers Union in the 1970s, so farmers could have a voice in shaping our agricultural and its industry in ways more beneficial to our ordinary people. Subsequent to that, Athi was pivotal in his leadership during the 1979 uprising against misgovernment, which resulted in an interim government being put in place, for which he served as Minister of Agriculture. And later on came to Washington for many years, where he worked in the Dominican community, as well as a consultant at the Development Gap, a nonprofit development organization here in Washington. And I had the honor of working alongside him on many initiatives to benefit Dominica, where Dominicans in the diaspora assisted our homeland. Athi returned home and built Exotica, a hotel designed to blend in with our local environment, where guests would be fed local foods and where it would not be dependent on imports. Almost a prototype organization to build in our country a different kind of tourism, an ecotourism, a tourism rooted in our culture, including our agriculture, and which would be enhancing of local ownership. Again, everything Athi has done, he's done it with a mind towards social transformation, social justice, equity, access, equality of opportunity, and a better life for all Dominicans. Today, Athi leads the Wednesday Walkers, a group of citizens, mainly senior citizens, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately not because I do not prize what they've done, but because too many of our young people have not stood up in the path of Athi Mate and those who came before him to stand for liberation. Let Athi Mate's birthday be a clarion call to the young Dominicans who sit idly by, allowing themselves to be beguiled, mamma-guyed, misled, coddled, and guided towards deviance in our society by a leadership which is anti-democratic and dictatorial. Let Athi's life be a testimony to that which one can do, where one abides by the value engineering that our parents gave us, those of his father, my father, the fathers and mothers of that time, that generation of Dominicans who believed in honesty as the best policy, waste not, want not, make hay while the sun shines, stitch in time saves 9, because they also taught us that birds of a feather flock together. So let us, those of us of goodwill, like Athi Mate, who love Dominica, our nation builders, who believe in justice, who believe in democracy, who believe in rule of law, who believe in good governance, who are against corruption. Let us flock together. Let us gather around those values which made our country a place that was worthy to fight for and worthy to die for. Let us not be persons who sit back and allow our country to be plundered, to be misguided, and to be plunged into dictatorship and disaster by the current leadership and others that may come bearing gifts. Let us not be a society that abides corruption and bribery. As Afi Mate and his family is too tall, they've sacrificed much. We are indebted to them and to him in particular for all he's done. God bless you, Afi. God bless you, Faye. Bless your children. Bless your family. And bless all that you've tried to do for our beloved Dominica. We appreciate you. Happy birthday. From Gabriel Christian and the Christian family. Well done, Island son. Well done.
What a tremendous tribute. That's a tremendous tribute. Let me just check in. Afi, you okay, right? Put your thumbs up if you're doing okay. Afi? I don't think he's hearing me. Are you hearing me, Afi? Give me a thumbs up that you're okay. Awesome. I like that. I like that. I like that. We're still not descending as yet. We're still rising. We're still rising. And to help take us up to the top, the next person is someone who is very special to you. Yes, Afi, you were saying something?
I can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay. All right. I'm saying that we're not at the top as yet. We're still climbing. And there's someone very special who put everything aside that she had planned and said that she has to be here to say it to you personally. So I'm going to go to the next live tribute from Bev. We affectionately call her Bev, Miss Beverly Sinclair. Bev, it's all yours. Take it away.
Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to our very special Afi. Afi, I am so happy to see that this has been organized for you, because you really do so much. You pour out your heart for Dominica, and I certainly hope that the returns will come back in some way, shape, and form, that the country will benefit from your input as it has benefited already. It will continue to benefit from the seeds you have planted, which I am sure will bloom and will grow into strong, sturdy trees and beautiful flowers for that country. Ape has become a dear friend of mine over the years. We met about 13 years ago when I invited him to one of the programs I was producing. And when I listened to what he had to contribute, I subsequently invited him to other programs. And when we formed the group, The Usual Suspects, and we did the weekly program, Met We Chat, he was invited to be one of the founders, one of the original suspects on that show. And his contribution has been invaluable. If this is one of those programs people would be asking for him, the fans and those who follow the show got to know him by name, got to value his contribution, and they would always ask for him if he's not there. Afi is such a open and genuine person. He speaks from his heart every time. And because of that, he touches, when he speaks from the heart, he touches my heart. And I can share with him in what he's feeling and the dangers that we are exposed to in the Caribbean, and the simple things that we can do to avert those dangers. But these things are not being done fast enough or on a wider scale as they should be in order to prevent these oncoming disasters. But Afi doesn't lose hope, he doesn't lose heart. He keeps fighting, he keeps pushing forward. And I admire his tenacity, because he doesn't let go, he doesn't give up. He has a hope and he has a vision, and he continues to fight for that dream. because he knows that it will only redound for the good and for the best in that country. He is a spiritual person and I guess always is in touch with his spiritual self as well. And he will share that with those around him when he wants to build up others spiritually. And it's one of the things I admire about Aki. He's always seeking to get the best out of everyone around him, always seeking to build up people, always looking for opportunities for those around him. And it is such a beauty to see that kind of personality and that person in a world today where people tend to be so selfish. Aki is unselfish, and it is quite refreshing to be in his company, to speak with him, to do things with him, because he is such a genuine and refreshing person to be around. I celebrate with you, Aki, not just your birthday, but I celebrate all the things you have done, all the achievements, and everything that you will achieve. I certainly celebrate with you, Aki, and look forward to having a lot more talks and a lot more programs that we can do together to help not just Dominica, but the entire region. So more than 3 chairs, 300 chairs for Aki. We need to have some more like you. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bev. Thank you so much. Hippie peep for real. Hippie peep hooray. Hippie peep hooray.
Hooray.
Hippie peep hooray. Free
Hooray.
chairs for Aki.
Thank you, Charles,
That's it. Mm.
for your words. Now we are going to go on to a little steel pan intermission. Local talent pan in harmony. So let's just enjoy what is one of Aki's passions. Aki is not only environment, natural environment, he loves the cultural environment. A tribute here to Aki one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pan in harmony. In it, girls.
this was beautifully done by the Pan and Harmony group. And we know every Wednesday Afi does a walk with a number of folks that they've built up such a great camaraderie. And I'm going to pass the mic over to them. A few of them want to say a few words and to especially recognize Afi.
We're not hearing her, Tony.
Hey, folks, we're not hearing what she's saying. So there we go. We're hearing something now. Go ahead. Go ahead and speak.
Go ahead.
Say
check.
Testing.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Start from the beginning.
The Wednesday Walkers wish a happy birthday to Afi, a true patriot who continues to inspire us to walk for peace, justice, and prosperity. Mr. Afi Mate, happy birthday to you. Continue to do the good work. Thank you, my dear. Wow. Compliment the Wednesday Walker. See the Walker. Yeah. Oh, how wonderful, how beautiful. Compliment the era. All right.
Thank you, Emmanuel, and the Walkers, Wednesday Walkers, for honoring Afi Mate on the 77th birthday party.
Afi, congratulations on the recognition by your Wednesday Walkers. At this time we have, there's a gentleman that I met through Afi, and you hear his name mentioned a couple of times already today. The gentleman by the name of Dr. Alan Williams. Afi mentioned him. He's a Guyanese by birth. He's married to a Dominican. He lives in Trinidad. He wrote a book about our water surplus in Dominica and how we should be able to supply water to the rest of the region. He and Afi has been conspirators, collaborators from since the days when I spoke about Castle Bruce and the action on the Castle Bruce estate and forming the Castle Bruce Farmers Cooperative. And up till today, he and Afi are still collaborating on many projects. So I turned to him and told him what we were doing, and he put together a very special tribute to Afi that sort of captures a lot of what he and Afi has done over the years. And so let's listen to Dr. Alan Williams as he gives us a little insight into some of the work and the achievements that Afi has done over the last, how many decades? From the 1970s up till the 2010s. So that's 70s, 80s, 90s. It's like 5 decades. So let's listen to Alan Williams. Sam, if you have that recording from Alan, I guess, okay, excuse me. Okay.
Some of us see injustice and say, I really feel sorry for him. Some of us see exploitation and boast, they will not do this to me. Some see poverty and confide, thank God I'm not there. Some see devastation and believe in their hearts, now it's each man for himself. Atherton Martin sees all of this: injustice, exploitation, poverty, and devastation. and immediately adopts an approach that says in 4 words, "Not on my watch." My name is Alan Williams, and I've known Athie and Faye Martin for over 50 years now. In spite of all of the complaints, criticisms, and disrespect thrown his way, I still have not found cause to unfriend him. And that is not a boast of how well I know him. Rather, it is a boast of how well he knows us and his country, well enough to always be impatient to do something about it. When Athie sees anything or reads anything that is not true, he takes it to heart. So when he hears the words, "Après bondi, c'est la terre," that becomes his playbook. To save la terre, and to save all human and non-human species that reside in la terre. And whoever does not like it, chupu. I have witnessed this playbook in action for 50 years. Starting in 1972, when Athie assumed his first job in Dominica after graduating from Cornell University, where I met him and Faye. Here's what happened with Athie in his first job. Within weeks of taking up his position as estate manager, Athie was required to fire 30% of the workforce on the estate. Not on his watch. Instead, he got himself fired and led those very poor farmers in the formation of the Castle Bruce Cooperative, which not only gave income and economic stability to those small farmers, but also gave hope to a generation of their children who went on to do great things. Let me give you a snippet of the conversation between Athie and his former bosses in his first ever management job in CDC's Castle Bruce estate. I recorded this as he told it to me about 2 weeks after the crisis had begun. A little background is necessary. So Athie had been instructed by his bosses to supply the general manager with a list of 89 persons to be fired so as to make the estate more profitable. Having initially refused to do so, he came face to face with the GM, Mr. Alan Pugh, who arrived in Castle Bruce accompanied by an official from CDC headquarters in Barbados, with the explicit intent of talking some sense into Athie's head. Well, actually, they really should have consulted Faye first, as she could have testified as to how hard his head is. This is the tail end of that 2-hour meeting between Athie and his white overseer bosses. Athie, why is the layoff necessary? Because Castle Bruce is not making profits. I have not seen any statistics to support such a claim. We admire your interest in the affairs of the company. You may admire whatever you desire to, but provided I do not see any statistics to verify your claim, and we do not consider the alternatives to the layoff, there will be no list forthcoming. Why not? Because of the problems such a layoff will cause for the people of the village of Castle Bruce. This was followed by a lecture on the economy of Dominica and Castle Bruce. We admire your concern for these people, but what about your concern for the company's profits? I have been at Dominica for 26 years. I have been a member of your company for slightly over 26 days. What about your contract? The clause in it is offensive. We think that it would be in your interest to reconsider both decisions. Goodbye. Athie then mobilized his very employees to fight for their right to exist in his land. I happened to be there at one of these mobilization meetings in which a member of DAWU, the Dominica Agricultural Workers Union, had come up to capitalize on the situation by enrolling the workers into his union. In a discussion afterwards, this union organizer said to me, "These workers really don't understand trade unionism. They want me to fight for the manager to keep his position. Unions fight against managers' positions." Well, if you're trained in conventional thinking, you may have some difficulty figuring out what Athie is accomplishing. Within the limited time that is afforded me, I would like to show you how this approach continued to play itself out throughout his life history. I only have time to share with you 4 instances in 1988, 2002, 2008, and 2010. The first is one in which Athi received the most prestigious international award, the Goldman Environmental Prize Award in 1988. The Goldman Environmental Prize is an award given to honor the achievements and leadership of grassroots environmental activists from around the world, whose action inspire all of us to take action to protect our planet. In 1988, Athi was the winner of this international award. This is how the awarders summarized his actions.
In 1985,
Dominica's rich ecosystem became threatened by BHP, Australia's largest mining company at that time, which was planning a major copper mining operations there. The Dominican Parliament rushed to approve the Mines and Minerals Act
of 1986
in less than 24 hours, making environmental assessment discretionary rather than mandatory. BHP was immediately granted 2 prospecting licenses at virtually no cost for an area totaling 7,200 hectares, which comprised 10% of Dominica's total land surface. Athi, like all other technically skilled persons, understood that strip mining usually generated enormous wealth for the companies but left both the people and the land poorer for future generations. Once again, as throughout his lifetime, not on my watch became the playbook. And Athi was able, with others, to successfully stop that destructive project from defacing and impoverishing Dominica and its environment. I would like to remind you all that when Athi took this action, he was not walking in the streets of Roseau in white shirts with a few activists. Spoiler alert, he was at that time the chairman of the Development and Planning Corporation. Another lesson in leadership of state corporations in the defense of poor people and future generations. Very few chairmen of state corporations have ever heeded this course. This brings me to another foundation block that Athi was instrumental in building, and that is the Integrated Development Plan, the IDP, in 2002. This was a multi-million-dollar project funded by the FID of the United Kingdom, seeking to change the face of development planning in the Caribbean. Athi assembled a team of 5 of the most talented and dedicated professionals in Dominica. This team included persons like Carissa Etienne, who is now the Executive Director of PAHO WHO, and others like Lambert Lewis, who was at the National Bank, and Ron Green, a professional from the NGO community. I happen to be the economist on the team. Again, some background information is needed here for you to fully understand the deep significance of this task. By the dawn of the new century, developing countries had been experimenting for 50 years with the concept of development planning, partly as a political program for their election manifestos, but more importantly, to provide their leaders with a wish list to present to financial donors for cash. But what would happen if we could develop a national plan that did not chase foreign donors' money, but instead chased the hopes and aspirations of ordinary Dominicans? Athi showed the present and the future generations of Dominicans how to assemble the content of this mother of all development plans. Under Athi's leadership, the IDP did the following. We conducted 15 sensitization meetings in communities throughout the country. We met with over 600 persons from all walks of life in Dominica to solicit their input. We held consultations with as many organized groups as existed at that time to encourage them to contribute ideas. And we held 25 public meetings not to tell people what we were going to do for them in this plan, but to ensure that the team members who were going to write the plan would listen and hear the aspirations and expectations as expressed by the public. This massive volume of work was distilled into 52 discussion papers on all subjects pertinent to almost every sector of the Dominican economy and society. Of course, petty politics did its best to shift this valuable knowledge asset out of the way of political expediency. But Ati and myself, using the technology, had designed all 52 papers into digital formats. For the remaining 20 years, Ati would occasionally call me and say that he received a visit from some foreign consultant to the government. I would ask him, what did he want? And he would respond, nothing that we had not already addressed in the IDP. So I gave him the relevant paper. And what did he say? What they always say. But you guys have done all my assignment already. You know, when I was asked to make these comments, I boasted to my very good friend Anthony that I probably had lots of old pictures of Ati in my archives for this occasion. I was dead wrong. I did not have very many pictures of Ati. Then I realized why. Whenever I was in his presence, Ati never placed himself in a picture. What he would always do was to point to the problem or the issue that he wanted help in resolving while on his watch. I found one of those pictures that upset him very much, and it was this one, showing the dumping and burning of used tires in the Poncolé Valley. Have a good look at this picture taken in 2008. And I will tell you how Ati's reaction, not on my watch, played out. You may not have heard of this because he did not march in the streets. What he did was to assemble all the technical data, and together we formulated a project to recycle these used tires into what is called crumb rubber. Ati even got assigned to himself the proprietary rights for this technology, so as to ensure that it could be gainfully applied to solving the problem in Dominica. His solution was to turn this devastating picture into a production process that would produce rubber chips, which can be used as fuel in cement factories, rubber crumbs, which can be combined with asphalt to provide more elasticity on paved roads, thus reducing cracking in roads and less potholes. Very mundane things. Actually, this single product, crumb rubber, could have become a game changer in creating employment, as its many uses included use in sports fields, driveways, parks, and other civil engineering applications. Essentially, this was a project within the wider scope of solid waste management in the country, and as such, required some degree of state, that is, government intervention. The collection costs, depending on the type of program operated, averaged between $1.82 and $2.26 per tire. Crumb in each tire would have cost us about $2.40 per tire. But this required the government to introduce an environmental levy on recyclable products, including plastic containers and tires. This levy would be payable to the units that recycle these products. Paying a government level to Ati Mate? No way. You see, the persons who automatically oppose Ati only see in their mind's eye a picture of Ati, nothing else. Those who admire and support Ati see in their mind's eye the picture of the issues and problems he's pointing to and the solutions he's proposing. Finally, let me introduce you to one last initiative of Ati, which I'm sure you have never heard of, the Layu Biopark. In 2010, Ati called me to complain that he had found out that funds allocated to Dominica to develop an ecological project were being returned to the donor because the officials could not think what such a project would contain. His desire was to design a nature park that would demonstrate the essential elements needed to conserve the beautiful environment, which makes us all proud of Dominica as the nature island of the Caribbean. Thus, the first biopark in Dominica was designed, costed, and even presented to the Cabinet of Dominica in 2010. Let me tell you some of the features of this biopark. Afi and Mr. Ashton Lugay, an excellent forester, had chosen the Layo River Basin as the preferred site, right in the vicinity of the defunct Layo River Hotel. The project was intended to create a major natural tourism asset right there in the Layo River Basin, and through heightened awareness of its value, to stimulate public opinion to block any further destructive industrial activities in or near that river. Here is what was fascinating about this idea. The park itself was across the river from the existing hotel, connected by a pedestrian bridge. So get this. To enter the nature park, you were being invited to leave the disgraceful edifice of the supposed development, that is the hotel, with all its corruption, and walk across the bridge to what would become a physical heritage of Dominica's beauty. This was a park that not only preserved fauna and flora of Dominica, in addition to a herbarium and preserved biodiversity zones, the park also contained an amphitheater built in such a way to facilitate Dominica's cultural presentation. So you would be able to enjoy watching them dance the ballet against a background of a beautiful running river and verdant green mountains. The park also had what was called a sketch artist corner, where artists from all walks of life in Dominica can come and display their works of art for sale to visitors, both local and foreign. 10 years after ditching a made-for-financing project that would have converted 10 acres into a nature park that would have been functional, interactive, and exhibitional, the government of Dominica got some money to create what it called CREED, the Climate Resilient Executive Agency of Dominica, and without doing any of the necessary groundwork, to simply declare Dominica as a climate resilient country. Laughable. From the Dominica University of Life and Struggle, Atherton Martin has earned with distinction the accolade of Foundation Block Builder, FBB. Wherever he encountered a problem, he built the foundation of a possible solution block by simple block. But rest assured, there is a generation that's coming. We don't know them. Afi will never meet them. But history has its own way of allowing the truth to be revealed. When this generation begins to demand that good governance and enlightened planning be restored to the island of Dominica, this generation will find redemption in their convictions from the foundations laid by one person who went before them, and that is Atherton Eloise Martin. So, on behalf of the generations of the future, I would like to say to Afi, thank you, thank you, thank you.
On behalf of the future generations, I would like to say thank you. That's how Dr. Alan Williams put it together. I can see Faye. Is that Faye that's sitting next to Afi? Yes. Hey, Faye, it's awesome to see you. I hope we're doing justice. Dr. Williams, Alan, my friend, thank you so much. You put this together. I don't think there's anybody, and Afi will agree with me, I don't think there's anybody who could have put this together so eloquently and succinctly, and just information about what Afi has represented. Very good job, my brother, and I really appreciate you for the support and the contributions. We're going to keep it moving, folks. So I am going to take a live tribute from our brother, Mr. Alvin Thomas. Alvin has been and is very present in many of those activities. Is one of those concerned folks, very passionate about Dominica. So Alvin, I'm going to hand it to you. Thank you so much for making the time to be with us today.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear, yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Afi and Faye. Sagafet. Good to see you guys, man. Friends, invited guests, I have been asked to say a few words today as we recognize and pay some tribute to our son of the soil, Atherton Afi Martin, for his work and his service to humanity. I refer to it as humanity. And we're doing so as he just celebrated his 77th birthday on December 23rd. So happy birthday to you, my brother. Let me first of all thank the host and the organizers of that event, as I join the rest of you, those who have spoken before me already, and those that I'm sure will be speaking after me, as we celebrate with our brother Afi. Actually, how do you really begin to pay tribute to someone like Afi? I mean, and come in right after Dr. Allen. I mean, what is left for me to say? I mean, but however, I was told I have 3 minutes, a challenge to do that. I have known Afi for well over 30 years, going maybe even as long as 40 years. And I've known him as a friend, as a humanitarian, as an activist, environmentalist, and a champion and a voice for the voiceless. Actually, I know both Neville Graham and Neville Wade spoke about Afi's involvement in the Farmers Union. And for those of you who may not know, the Farmers Union was right below the house where I live on 17th Church Street. My family lived upstairs and the Farmers Union was downstairs. So I would see Afi on a regular basis. And just up the road from where we live, his parents live. Mr. and Mrs. Martel live right up the road. So we would see each other. And my wife, who worked also at the Dominica Dispensary where Afi dad worked, were connected. So you see the kind of connection that we have. There is this American author and a journalist as well as a TV broadcaster by the name of Mitch Albom. And he had a comment or a quote that he made. And he said that the way you get meaning into your life is to devote yourself to loving others, to devote yourself to your community around you, and to devote yourself to creating something that gives you purpose and meaning. When I came across this quote, that clearly epitomized the person and the brother we have come to know as Afi. Every one of us here today, as well as those listening virtually, will agree that Afi's service to others, his service to his community, and his purpose, his meaning, and passion for what he continues to stand for over the years is the man we have known at 57, at 67, and now at 77. Nothing has changed, except he has more determination now, even as he's shown that with his Wednesday walk at the ripe age of 77. I recall when we moved from Church Street to Castle Comfort, my two boys, they kept bothering me for a dog. They say, Daddy, we need a dog, we need a dog. So I know Afi had some dog, and I said, Afi, my sons need a dog, you know. He said, really? I said, yes. He said, well, okay, I can get them a dog. I'll get them a Doberman pup. At the time, he had a Doberman. And he got that dog, and he says, but you want a dog for your son, but I got to talk to them, you know. I say, but what you mean? He said, no, I have to have a conversation with them. I need to know, first of all, how they're going to take care of the dog, who's going to do what, and whatever. And like the good dad, he had a conversation with my two boys. And I remember when he finally agreed that, okay, he can give the dogs to us. He brought the dog home, the little pup, little Doberman, nice brown Doberman pup. We call her Pio at the time. We name her Pio. And he would constantly ask, how is Pio doing? Are the boys taking care of Pio? And then so that tells you the relationship that we had. My brother Afi, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all what you have done and continue to contribute to humanity. I also want to take the opportunity to say thank you to your lovely wife, Faye, who is here with you today, and your family for selflessly sharing your life with us over the years. It is said that behind every successful woman or strong one is a successful or strong woman. And I myself can attest to that whatever in the family, in the way of family that you were able to achieve and do, was it because you had your family support and faith support there with you. So I want to say thank you to you, Faith. As I kind of stay within that constraint that they gave me, the 3 minutes, because, you know, I can talk from today till tomorrow, you know. Afia and I have that in common. Nunio pila all. Whenever we get our minds into something that we are passionate about, we have a pila all. But as I close, I want to end also with a quote from Martin Luther King Jr., where he says, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? That was a quote from Martin Luther King. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? That is the question I'm sure our brother Afi will be asking as we pay tribute to him today. What are you doing for others? My wife Catherine and our family wants to join me as we extend our best wishes to you, our brother Afi, for the new year and God's continued blessing as you continue your labor of love in the vineyard of the Lord. I say our best wishes, warmest greetings, and coming all the way from Atlanta. It's kind of cold there today, not as warm as you guys have it in Dominica, but we bring you that warmth, love, and peace and joy to you and your family. Hold on, brother. You got a couple more to go. All right? Thank you.
Thank you, my brother Alvin. I had no idea that your relationship with Afi runs this deep, but that is just repeated over and over and over again. Everybody that I ask about Afi has a story of how deep the relationship goes. And as Bev said, because Afi operates from his heart, when he deals with you, it goes directly to your heart, and it's always a deep relationship.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that, Alvin.
You're welcome.
I'm going to keep it moving right along. I know Sam has a few. Pastor Billy is back, so we'll go to Billy to give his tribute. He's back on. Billy, are you back on? Yes, just in time, Billy. It's your turn to say a few words to Afi. I see you guys go on this safari every so often, and you enlighten him on the Casselberry area and the devastation that's taking place there. And I know you are proud to be part of the occasion this afternoon. Pastor Billy Sanderson, it's your turn.
Good afternoon to everyone, and Mr. Afi, my very special friend, he has become, I knew him quite a while back, but I think over the last year or so, that relationship has really deepened as our hearts begin to connect, and I begin to see in him very similar things that, that strikes my heart, my passion, and where my mind and my heart is for the nation. I begin to see a lot of that and all of that existing in him. And so it's really become such a beautiful relationship, I must say. as we continue to work together, with the same motivation, the same passion, the same objectives, looking to see how we can get our nation, our people developed. Afi is a man who has a very big heart, as everybody has said. Huge. He's not afraid of anything. He said literally over and over again, there's nothing that intimidates him, nothing gets him scared. And one of the things that has really impressed me significantly is over the last couple of months to see how, his confession, he's almost become, Anthony has become a pastor. So I can almost, if I open a church now, I have an assistant pastor already. Preaching so very well now. I mean, it's amazing. And so for me, I love that. And it's the way he's been able to tie in, the message of God into the nation and its development and everything that concerns the nation and our people. He's been able to do a beautiful merger of the two things together that makes it look as one, and really it is one. And so as we work together, especially on the walks and of course those safaris, of course highlighting the issues that our nation face, and being able to dig deep like he normally uses it, dig deep into ourselves, into our hearts, and to see what we can do for our nation and how we can better serve. Then it gives me great pleasure, to really be associated to a gentleman like this who spent many years of his life. Of course, he told me he started in Cassius, and he remember me when I was very, very small then. Of course, didn't know that we were gonna be partnering at this time of our lives into such a wonderful, I call it, and very beautiful mission and purpose that really is about restoration of our nation and really the development of our people. And so it really, Afi, it's a beautiful thing for me at this time to really be connected to you, partnering with you in this mission. And of course, I want you to know that you have a permanent partner. And like I always say to everybody where I go, this mission for me is never going to end until it's over, until our nation is restored, until our people can experience the quality of life that I believe that God has called us to. And I know that's where his heart is and his mind and his soul is. So guess what? We become a team, and that team is going to be undivided, undisputed, and we're going to keep doing what we have to do so that our nation and our people can experience what we are totally convinced of that they can experience. So God bless you. Enjoy this 77th birthday. And this is a very special number, 7 and 7. God loves those two numbers. That's God's number. All right. And if you divide it, you're going to get it by 7, you're going to get 11. And so that is a lot of biblical significance in those numbers. So God bless you tremendously. And Faye, who has been just a silent, very strong support. When I come to bring him home, she says, I have not been worried about him because I know he's in good hands. So Faye, thank you very much for inviting me and allowing me into your space, your family space. Almost I become a family member. And together we're going to continue to do what God expects us to do for the honor and glory of his name and for his people. So all the best to you, Mr. Marte, and I'm looking forward to you having many to come as we continue this fight for our nation. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Billy. Thank you for participating. And I know, as Faye says, you mix with Afi every week, and you are part of the team around him that takes care of him and allow him to continue to do the good work that he is doing. So thank you for the contribution, and thank you for what you continue to do. Because of your efforts, you allow us to have the service and the energy of Afi to continue. We're going to we have 2 more recorded tributes. So let's take them. Sam, go ahead.
I am Crispin Gregoire, and it is an honor to join the friends of Afi Martin in the celebration of his 77th birthday. I fully endorse him being awarded the Man of the Year. Without a doubt, Afi has been a legendary figure in the Dominica landscape for the last 50 years. He's a gifted individual with many talents and has contributed to Dominica and the world in many arenas. I would say that being eloquent and personable are his strongest attributes. He has made significant contributions to agriculture, namely, if I just mention the Castlebrooks Farmers Cooperative and the Farmers Union and Farm to Market. In the arena of environment, he has led for many years the Dominica Conservation Association, and his activism in the environment led to him being awarded the Goldman Prize for Environment. In the political sphere, he's led the Dominica Liberation Movement and done 2 stints in government. On the international level, he has been active in advocacy for economic and social policy. He has advised many organizations across the world. And I remember clearly his time at the American Friends Service Committee and Development Gap, and his continuing commitment to political activism and entrepreneurship remains with him to this day. So I want to say that Afi is somebody who I have looked up to, somebody that I have seen as a mentor, and somebody that I have worked with in many activities. And I really want, it's really been an honor to be associated with him. And I want to thank all of you who have made the effort to recognize his 77th birthday. And I look forward to being part of it. Thank you.
Hello, Afi Martin. This is Von Martin, a brother from another mother. Listen, man, I want to wish you a happy birthday. It's such a treat to celebrate a commemorative day and event like this. You know, I want to thank you, brother, for all that you have assisted me in contributing to my work and my understanding of the region and the Caribbean. When you take care, brother, I still have to come one day to taste some of that good food you guys cook down there and take a bath in the river. All right, man. Be good. Take care. Happy birthday.
Hi, good evening. I am Myrna Louis, and I am honored to being given a tribute on behalf of Mr. Atherton Martin. I have known Atherton for more than half of my life, and I'm pleased and extremely grateful to say that he has given me several opportunities. Notably, he was my first employer after I came from college. Afi has been a great employer, a great manager. Afi encouraged me. Afi made me feel comfortable, invited me to senior management meetings, and I just felt comfortable being around Afi. Afi is patient, so much so, Afi is a visionary. Afi assisted me in getting a scholarship to further my studies and career. Afi is a leader. Afi is someone who considers others more than himself. Even now that I have moved on and living overseas, I see Afi leading the way for Dominica with his work. He has always put others before himself. And Afi Martin, may God bless you, and may God give you all the gifts that you deserve for yourself, because you deserve it. I am very proud to be associated with Atherton Martin, and congratulations on your award.
Thank you for those contributions, everyone. I at this time, I don't know if there's anybody in the room who wants to say anything additional, any tributes. I think Afi's probably getting up to go to the bathroom. But is there anyone in the room who would like to say something? Since Afi is leaving his seat, I think we would switch and go. So I see Billy says Navia, but where is Navia? She's not live. Let's go. Is the Stillman ready, since Afi is not in his seat right now?
Now, do you want to give it to Julie?
Somebody looks up.
Yeah.
How does this one sound? Sounds better.
Do you want to get a copy?
Excuse me? Huh? Well, if you have played something, I can follow this.
Yeah.
As you tuning in, this is a special occasion where we are recognizing Mr. Atherton Martin for his contribution over the years, and he's going to be playing a steel band for us, give us a special treat. We're just organizing to do that right now. We had tributes from all over the world, from North America, from Trinidad, and so on locally. This has been a very touching event, recognizing Atherton Martin, a son of the soil, for his work defending human rights, defending the environment, and his contribution to music. As a matter of fact, he got an award this year, Golden Drum Award this year.
There we go. That's what we need. Some music.
All right, so let's go to him and his brother Julie as they going to entertain us with a special rendition. This is amazing. Margot, is he going to play another song?
Folks, yes. Thank you very much for everything.
Okay, she said we're going to play one more song.
All of you. And most of all, the one person without whom I wouldn't be here. What my mother did. You know, so if your mother and your wife, he would take his mother because he could never get another mother again. Yeah. But I could never get another wife.
Can you tell them that he's not coming out very clear? What he's saying is not coming out clear now. So you need to bring him closer to the computer, bring your computer to him.
Struggle. Before we got married, we were an item from 19. Check me now. I put it down to 1965. Wow. So we got married in 1969. So we had 5 years. 4 years of trial. 4 years of experimentation. And then she left. And then guess what? I followed. Oh my God! It was all due to another mother who organized with my father to come and live next door to my father, so that her bedroom was on the kitchen side of my father's house. So every morning I couldn't avoid seeing her.
Why did you look upstairs for?
I even broke the glass in her window one night. I was trying to call her and she wouldn't answer, so I took a stone. Flung it out the window. A little too hard. And I made her go. That whole stayed there in that window forever. They never fixed it. So thank you so much, all of you. I'm not often overwhelmed in life or overcome, but I was overwhelmed and I was overcome with the outpouring of love and caring and encouragement and support that came when we got on the bottom of the stairs. And as I said, if I had to go into any war, I would pick to go into war with the people who organize this event.
Secret gym.
Okay? So I'm going to allow the ladies to play something, and if we can pick it up, we'll do a little motion with them.
Okay, I'm just going to take the opportunity to thank those who made this event possible. The walkers, the ladies, and your culinary skills were displayed today in full force. There was who did all of this lovely food. To Margot, who was Julie and Bob D. I'm not seeing Bob D around. Thank you, you guys always rock. Thank you for the musical entertainment. And Pan in Harmony. Thank you very much. Faye. I have to go to Athi for the words. I know you have a lot of patience. And Eloise is also somebody who has always been the one coordinating this event. She has a lot of patience as well. And TDN and Wave, thank you for coming up with this idea and honoring our brother Athi. Athi, I'm honored to be the one to make this presentation to you on behalf of TDN Radio and Wave. So I'm reading for you Man of the Year, Mr. Atherton Athi, in recognition of your valiant pursuits for peace, justice, and the environment for your beautiful country.
Thank you very much.
Can we bring him forward a little so we can see the plaque? Okay, great.
That's right.
And all right, Mr. Atherton Martin, a very beautiful plaque presented by TDN Media Network and Wave. And of course, we see the Dominica flag in the center because Afi has contributed so much to Dominica. Thank you so much, Mr. Atherton All right, so this has been a very special occasion where Mr. Atherton Martin has been presented with the Man of the Year award from TDN Media Network in collaboration with WAVE. And there's a few people that we would like to say thank you for contributing. Of course, everybody has been, and I want to join my voice in to say thank you to Faye for being there as Afi's, I imagine, partners in crime, confidant, support. Also to his kids, Adrian and Dr. Asha Martin. Thank you guys for blessing us with your permission to do this. Margot and Jackie working in Dominica tirelessly to get this thing off. Eloise on this side of the planet, thank you so much for your support, Eloise. Of course, Sam at TDN for putting all of this production together. Thompson also as part of TDN. WAVE, the members of WAVE for agreeing to collaborate with us on this presentation. The Gare Hotel for allowing the use of their premises. Alan Williams for putting together such a tremendous collaboration is not the word I want, but putting all of this together and a really nice presentation that gave a synopsis of Afi's contribution over the last 50 years. Pan in Harmony, you were the highlight of the event. Thank you so much. The Wednesday Walkers, thank you for participating, providing the food, and of course, also giving your award to Afi. Walter Greenaway made the wooden plaque that you saw. So any occasion that you have, you can check him out. It's made out of wood. I'm very happy with the finished product. And everybody who contributed, everybody who sent in a tribute, everybody who stood up and made a live tribute, thank you so much. And we will do this again next year. TDN Media Network. To a Person of the Year award every year at this time to recognize somebody who is contributing towards Dominica. And when I announced it, I got so many other suggestions. We may have to do a man and a woman of the year next year, but we'll see how it goes. But we certainly want to do this as an annual event. So I see Margot might be trying to say something. So Margot, I'm going to pass on to you to go close off from Dominica.
Thank you, Anthony, for sponsoring and hosting this show. Eloise did not get a chance to say anything. I understand. No, Eloise, don't back out now. You were supposed to speak. Just give it a 1 minute, 60 seconds. Hit it hard and heavy, all right? Because we're going to cut the cake. All right, go ahead.
And now you get Eloise interested to actually get cake. Go ahead, Eloise.
Hi, Afi. I'm one of the usual suspects. I just want to thank you. I am deeply, deeply honored. I'm grateful. and honored to be part of the team that brought you such a beautiful surprise. So thank you, Faith. Thank you as well. I appreciate it. And thank you, Afi. Here's to longevity, continued health, and continue with that vision. I'm seeing so much through you. So thank you so much.
Good. Thank you, Eloise. Thank you for that. And Afi, Alan put a couple of your projects out there in the open, so we need to be able to promote it. Get Dominicans familiar with the IDP and all of those things. So the work just starting apparently. Young age of 77. But thank you again, everybody. This has been our special presentation to Mr. Atherton Afi Martin, who has been working tirelessly on behalf of Dominica and Dominicans. We appreciate you, my brother. We are so grateful for you and for your efforts. Faith, thank you for sharing him with us so much. We love you and we love him. And so I am going, this is the end of the official part of the ceremony. I think I have said thank you to everybody. If I missed you, you know it's a special thank you to you as well. So Margot, take it away on the local scene. And go ahead, if you have one more thing that you want to say, go ahead, for sure.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. Pastor Navia would like to.
Oh, Navia, okay.
Blessings today, and so hit it. Yes, I cannot hit it. In a conversation I had with Mr. Martin this morning about prayer, I was sitting there and I was contemplating what would I say. And so what came on my heart is to bless you. And so I pulled up a song. I don't really sing that function, but I figured I'd just give you one verse. And if you know it, please sing it. It says, the Lord bless you and keep you. May His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn His face towards you and give you peace. May His presence go before you and behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. He's with you, He's with you. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn His face towards you and give you peace. It's amazing when I spoke to Mr. Martin this morning, we were talking about prayer. And it's so impressive when God has person on His vision. And the Lord placed the ministry of intercession. That's what I noticed this morning. And He says, when He goes into the presence of the Lord, He's telling you secret. And you can really find something to pray for Himself. He's praying on behalf of the nation. He's praying on behalf of people. He's praying consistently when He prays for us. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Thank you.
Thank you.
Faith.
Hello?
Hi, over here.
Hi. Who's this?
Keep up there, man.
Unless Afi wants to say something additional, I think we are at the end of this. So, folks, thank you so much. We're going to go out with another song that was contributed by Dr. Irvin Pascal, IP. It's Chronics. So we'll go out with that. And folks, thank you so much. We really appreciate your participation.
Some things are just never said, no. Story of my life, ordinary person just like you. If you take a look inside, see the great things that people do. Changing lives day and night, but nothing I do ever makes the news. Still I have to do what's right, to the King of all kings, all praise is due. Yesterday I was on a train, a little boy asked me my name. He said, sir, I've seen you before, tell me who are you? Said I am a legend that you never heard of before. I said I am a lion, but you never heard me roar. Oh, I am a hero that nobody celebrates. But if one person remembers my name, that means I made a change. I'm the man who cooks the food and feed the street people in the afternoon. I'm the lady with the broom, sweeping the halls of his son's preschool. I'm the soldier who's up all night, making sure everything's alright. And if you ask me, I'm quite fine, being an ordinary person doing what's right. Yesterday at the football game, a little girl asked me my name. She said, sir, I've seen you before, tell me who are you? I said I am a legend that you never heard of before. I said I am a lion, but you never heard me roar. I am a hero that nobody celebrates. But if one person remembers my name, that means on the ocean of fame I'm an unknown sailor. I'm the percussionist playing with the whalers, the one with the shaker, the mover and shaker. My name wasn't on the front of the paper, but me not cater. Much more than the worker, the work is greater. Creation glorifies creator. So all deeds done are in the name of my maker. I am a legend that you probably never hear about. Words from the lion's mouth. I am a hero that nobody celebrates. But if one person remembers my name, give praise, that means I made a change. Story of my life, ordinary person just like you. If you take a look inside, you see the great things that people do. We're out here changing lives day and night, day in, day out. BBC don't show it, CNN don't show it. He's out.